Hi there, welcome to another episode of Canada's Movie and TV Hosers. My name is Gregory Barrett, and with me is my lovely wife, Christine.
Hi, everyone.
We're coming to you today we're out in space somewhere. We don't know. We're just hanging out, ships flying by, whatever. Just so you guys know, this show is, it's about we discuss things in pop culture there. Just ignore that thing at the bottom of the screen. That's just Fluffy Kitty. She's moving around there and sometimes wagging her tail in front of the camera. No big deal. So we're just out here in space talking about movies, trailers, TV, comic books, and whatnot. If you enjoy these videos, please give us a like, give us the thumbs up. That'll help us out. You can always leave a comment on anything that we talk about. You can always jump around to different chapters. I put the chapters in the description down below, so in case we're talking about something in spoilers or something you don't want to hear, you can jump to the next section. And do we have anything else we should add to that?
I don't think so.
No, you can always subscribe. We post a couple of these videos a week, these longer episodes, and then we post 1 minute or less shorts several times a week.
You do, yeah.
Yeah, I try and do that a lot because people like to watch those, especially if it's just a quick review or reaction from something I watch that's new. Do you have any news off the top you want to talk about?
No news I want to talk about.
I only heard sad news, so I don't want to bring that up.
Okay. People died. People died.
Yes, Raquel Welch died at 82.
She lived a good long life.
And I don't have all the information on it, but that she was a legend, and we'll miss her. She was doing stuff for a long time.
She was looking good.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And she could also act too.
Yeah, she was. Apparently, she was involved in a lot of like women's rights movements and that back in the '60s, or speaking out about things in the entertainment industry at the time, because this is way before the Me Too movement. Anyway, she was a great person. We'll miss her. That's the sad news. So let's talk about some happy things. We got a couple of trailers yesterday that we watched.
Yeah.
So big movie coming out on March 24th, because March this month is stacked with tons of stuff. March 24th, we're getting John Wick Chapter 4.
Right.
So another Keanu Reeves John Wick movie.
Yeah, it's a little bit like like he's got what's his name from the Morbius.
Jared Leto?
No. From, the movies that he's most famous for. I forget what they're called.
Jared Leto?
No! It's got Lawrence Fishburne in it. It looks like a Matrix. It looks like the Matrix, but it's not.
Okay.
Like, why is Lawrence Fishburne in it?
I think that's just a happy coincidence. Maybe they like working together.
I don't know. It looks a lot Matrixy. Anyway.
I've never found the John Wick franchise to be anything like the Matrix. There's just really good action sequences. Yeah. Are you a fan of this franchise?
I've watched a few. I did not like them. I enjoyed them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They were kind of all right. I don't really remember the second one.
They don't get too deep.
I mean, it all starts because they kill his dog in the first one, so you can't let that go.
No,
if someone
you can't.
Kills your dog
they mess with the wrong guy.
Or your cat.
Basically. He's sort of like a Liam Neeson character in a lot of Liam Neeson's roles these days.
Yeah, I can't really recall.
Action adventure.
2. 3 was about him and Halle Berry teaming up, and she's got a couple of killer dogs. They would go bite.
I don't think I saw that one.
Yeah, that was in 3. That was the last one. John Wick 3 Parabellum.
Oh, I missed that one.
And there was a lot going on at the hotel with Ian McShane, and he had to go out to the desert and chop off his ring finger. And,
I missed that one.
But he got to keep his wedding ring, but he had to chop off his finger and give it to the guy.
I should watch that one before I watch this. Anyway.
I don't know, it's weird.
It looks a lot of action.
Yeah.
Just a lot of action.
What'd you think about the guy who got run over, flew up into the sky, and then John Wick shot him a couple more times? It just seems over the top like the Matrix. That's, I guess, what I got out of that when I watched it. I think all the kills in this trailer were over top. There was a guy that was hanging off him, he's dead, and he just, shoots him 6 more times in the head.
Getting run over and shot at the same... Yeah, there's a lot of violence. I don't know.
It looks like pretty good action sequences. That's what you got to give them credit for.
A lot of action. Yeah.
I know they got a lot of fans because at least the first one wasn't made for very much. Now they're putting a lot more money into it, but if they're popular and people like them, I think they're all right. They don't blow me away. I'm going to go see it in the theater when it comes out March 24th. Do you think you will?
I don't know. I might not have a chance to. But I'll try to watch it. I guess I'll have to watch the third one first. I haven't seen a couple of them. I must have seen 1 and 2.
I might have to rewatch all 3. I don't really remember
them. Okay, we'll
them.
watch them. I don't remember. Yeah. I just know that they made the wrong guy mad. That's kind of
yeah, they made John Wick mad by killing his dog.
Yeah, it's like, don't make him mad.
That's all it is. It's like they killed his dog. He's like, I'm coming for you now. That's John Wick. That's the whole story.
It's a good story.
Everything else they add on to
It's not very sophisticated.
Apparently from this trailer, he's getting a new dog.
Yeah, there's a dog in it.
Yeah, he gets a new dog.
Okay.
So hopefully they don't kill it, because then he'll be extra angry.
I don't want to see that dog get killed.
No one wants to see it.
Isn't that the number one rule?
There's 2 rules in movie making that people don't like to see. Don't kill a dog and don't kill a kid, because people don't like to see those things.
No.
But I'll go check it out. I know you've been busy lately. If you have time, I'll report back. If it's really good, then I'll be, yes, okay, you got to see it in theater. But if it's just
a theater C movie.
Maybe not for you. For some people, yes. Some people are really excited for this. Are you guys really excited for John Wick Chapter 4 coming out next month in March? Let us know if you're a fan of this or if you're just looking forward to this movie down in the comments below. Our next one is Tetris, which also comes out in March on the 31st. This is on Apple TV+.
Very complicated story. I didn't know Tetris was that complicated.
Well, just to break it down, if you watch the trailer, it's not about the making of it. It's essentially about getting the rights for it from a guy who made it in the Soviet Union, because this was in the 80s.
Looks like
during the Cold War, and so he wants to make a game of this and launch this new game, but he's got to get the rights from the Soviet Union.
Looks like that.
So he's got to deal with the Soviet government.
Spy people, and people are interrogating him. Anyway, it looks interesting. I didn't know anything about that.
The only thing I knew about Tetris was that it was made by a Russian guy. I didn't know it had anything to do with the Soviet Union.
I didn't know any of that.
Which reminds me, because they announced a while back someone's making a Monopoly movie, and I'll bet that's just about... They're just talking about how they got the Monopoly game, the Parker Brothers, because, spoiler, they stole it from someone who made it, and so they made a lot of money off of it.
Are the rights up for the Monopoly now?
I'd
say it's probably 100 years now.
You'd think they would. You'd think the copyright would be up by now.
But they've just extended the copyright, some of them that were supposed to be up there. I don't know, it's very confusing. In Canada, it's very confusing. There's like a 20-way leeway, and then they might get...
So all these companies just trying to skirt and get around copyright laws.
People are trying to hold on to this.
I don't really agree with that.
Well, if you're the one that made that property and it's in your family, I suppose you want to hold on to it. Anyway, I guess we'll see. I mean, a Monopoly movie. I mean, Monopoly is more of a, like, just general life, like paying bills and paying rent.
But maybe it's about the creation of the game and how they stole it. I think it was made by a housewife or a woman, and they stole it from her.
Rich guy goes along the streets gathering money from everybody. That would be the movie.
Maybe he's got that big white mustache.
Yeah, he's gotta have like a gold watch or something.
I don't know, but this Tetris trailer looks quite interesting.
It does. It does look really interesting. I was very surprised. It looked like a big story there. Anyway, hopefully it's an interesting one. I'd be interested to see it if I get a chance.
Taron Egerton. You know who else is in this? Who's in everything? Toby Jones.
He's in everything.
Yeah, he is, and he's in this too.
All the time. You see him everywhere.
Maybe he plays Gorbachev in this movie.
Someone plays I saw Gorbachev for 1 second. I just saw the birthmark.
The bald guy with the birthmark.
I just saw a birthmark. I didn't really. It was so much going on with it. Anyway, we'll have to see.
Yeah, I might actually get a free trial of Apple TV Plus to check this out.
There's a lot of things we're missing because it's on Apple TV. Well, that's too bad. If it's on Apple, we probably won't see it then.
We can sign up for a free subscription, check it out, and then cancel after 3 months.
We'd have to like watch a lot. There's a lot of things that we've missed. We'd have to like make sure
everyone else does. Yeah. Well, let us know what you think. Are you looking forward to this new Tetris movie? Do you already have Apple TV Plus, and would you recommend it for us? Because we don't have it. I know it's not that expensive. Let us know down in the comments below. So those are the 2 big trailers. There are other ones, but There was one about George Foreman, but that's a boxing thing as well, and I didn't think you'd want to talk about
I
that.
saw one about a movie with Celine Dion in it. And the guy from Outlander. We'll have to watch that for our next show.
Find out what it is. I don't know what it is. If you know what it is, leave a comment down below and we'll get to it.
Yeah.
So let's talk first about our review. We got The Last of Us, episode 5.
Right.
Came out on Sunday.
You watched it Sunday. I watched it Monday in the daytime, but I got scared that night. I watched half of it in the evening, I think, because I was scared when I went to bed.
So, potential spoilers for The Last of Us episode 5. It did come out 5 days ago now.
It has scary things.
So the previous episode ended with Joel and Ellie. They were sleeping in the condo, and then they got the two guys got the jump on them. Okay, it was a man with his kid. And that was the end of the and then it was credits.
Saw the kid, I think.
So now we find out those two characters, that's Henry and Sam.
And Henry was mentioned in the previous episode.
These are characters from the game, I'm told.
I don't know.
And we see their backstory leading up to when they meet Joel and Ellie, and then going forward. And this was a pretty crazy episode.
Shows the worst side of people.
Lots of action, and the one thing I said in my spoiler-free review that I put on Sunday was just prepare yourself for the ending, because it's a tough ending. I'm not going to spoil it, but it's tough.
And the worst in people.
Yeah, but the one character, Kathleen, they give you reasons why she's doing what she's doing, and it makes complete sense.
But she's abandoned at her whole. She's abandoned everything just for revenge.
Well, okay, spoilers for this.
Yeah.
She wants revenge because Henry got her brother killed.
Her brother was
and her brother, and she even talks to one of the other characters, and he was saying that your brother wouldn't want you to take revenge for him, and she's like, yeah, I know, but where does that get me?
But she's using the whole machine of their regime to do this. But also, the most important thing is that she's completely neglecting the elephant in the room.
Yeah, what should be the main priority is, the clickers.
Yeah, and she knows that they're in the ground.
She's like, no, we gotta find this guy first.
And she just abandons everything, and then it's terrifying what happens at the end.
Yeah, it's a rough ending.
It is a very rough ending. We won't say any more, but it's scary. And then I couldn't sleep very good.
You had trouble sleeping?
Yeah. Zombies, man, they get to me.
Some people were just really upset about
the last
what happened at the end there, and
it
stuck with people for a while. Really good episode. They just keep making it a better episode each week, and they started really strong.
Really scary, especially when they're in the tunnels, and you know that something's bad in there, right? But then, it was really neat the way they did it.
Oh yeah, I mean the storytelling on this.
Yikes.
The direction, the editing, the cinematography, the effects. It's HBO. This is the gold standard when it comes to television, and they're demonstrating this on this show.
Catch up on my sleep every other night, because Monday nights are not going to be good sleep for me.
Anyway, I don't have problems sleeping because I watch it late on Sunday night when it drops here at 10:30. So by the time I get to bed, it's around midnight. I'm ready to go.
I have to rationalize it. I have to figure. I don't know. I have to think about it a lot. It really scares me. Zombies. Man.
Are you enjoying the show so far, or?
Oh yes,
tap out?
But I seriously, I'm always all these few episodes, right? Mm-hmm. I'm just on my edge all the time, waiting for the zombies to come, and they didn't come. But when they did come, did they ever?
Mm-hmm. I'm not going to comment more on that. Check out The Last of Us episode 5. It's on HBO. So it's on HBO Max in the US and other parts of the world. Here we have Crave is how we get HBO.
10:30.
It's not good
at night.
It comes out 9 o'clock Eastern,
Sunday.
And that's just the time zones. There's nothing HBO is going to do about that unless they bring it out earlier.
It's most people. We're the only ones in this time zone.
Yeah. I don't know. When it comes to watching HBO, if you're on the West Coast, That would be the best because they would get at what's that, like 6 o'clock there?
Yeah, it was so
6
hard.
o'clock
like,
at night. That's the best time.
Like to Alberta, all my shows are at different times, you know, and then I moved back to the East Coast, and now I'm even a half an hour difference.
I'm thinking all the people that work at HBO for Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
They probably all live in California.
Oh, probably.
That's why it all comes out at 6 o'clock there.
Well,
it's right
6
after
o'clock is
work.
a bit early too. Anyway, in the middle of the country, that's probably the best time. Yeah.
Okay.
Like they yeah.
You guys watching The Last
Eastern.
of Us on HBO? Check it out. If you haven't, let us know what your thoughts are down below. We're loving it, but if you're not liking it, let us know too. We want to hear from you and why. Okay,
Yeah.
that's HBO. That's The Last of Us. So now both of us saw yesterday Ant-Man the Wasp Quantumania,
Yeah,
but
different times.
separately because we had to go at different show times.
Yeah.
So I saw it in IMAX 3D. What did you see it in?
I ended up seeing it in 3D. Just because it was the only one I could go to. That's why I had that one, because it was a 6 o'clock show.
Doesn't really need to be a 3D movie.
No, but I just couldn't go at any other time.
Yeah.
It's really late. They had it for really late, and I couldn't go.
I
too
hate
late.
that when you got a showtime you can go to, but it's 3D, and you're like,
I
I
know.
don't want to go to 3D.
No one wanted to go. There was only like 7 people in the back row and me in the whole theater.
Probably the same thing.
So-
Probably the same thing. Stop with the 3D, guys. I saw it in IMAX 3D, and that was because that was the first screening. And there was no non-IMAX 3D.
Right. I saw the 3D because it was only a 6 o'clock show. Anyway,
So let's do
it was
non-spoilers,
non-spoilers.
and then we'll do a spoiler section later. So this is non-spoilers right now.
okay.
Did you enjoy this movie?
I thought it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it really was taking a lot. It seemed a lot like a Doctor Who movie. It seemed a lot like Doctor Who. Like Loki was a lot like Doctor Who. I guess because we're dealing with time. But it was a lot like Doctor Who, and some Star Wars fitted in as well. It was still fun, but the one big problem I think that really let it was the dialogue.
I agree. Well, for me, it was more yes, that was bad. The story needed work. I said in my spoiler-free reaction out of the theater that I had fun with this, but I was a bit disappointed because the story wasn't very good. There was a lot of story beats that I didn't like and stuff that some things they could just cut out. I'm like, you don't need to make this longer. There was a bunch of things. There was characters that didn't need to be there. That were kind
of Bill Murray.
Dear, spoilers.
Oh, is that a spoiler? Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, you know he's in it.
Not really a spoiler. I just
But
say.
there are characters that they don't need to have, so why are they just wasting screen time with them? Write a better story, have it move along faster. It was 2 hours, 5 minutes. I think they could have trimmed it down a little bit more with a better storytelling.
Yeah. Overall the story was okay.
They're introducing all these characters, and then there's big battles and everything at the end, but I don't care about any of the characters. It's like, I don't care about any of these new characters. They mean nothing to me. So why would they spend all this time with them? It just made no sense.
I don't even know their names other than 2 of them.
Yeah, I mean, one character was pretty funny.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, there's bad dialogue around that character.
That was the best joke in the whole movie.
I felt they could have really used at the end.
Way more jokes.
Okay. Yes. I felt like at the end, after the big battle and everything, I felt they really could have used like Michael Pena there doing a recap or telling stories about, you know, what was going on. And I really missed him in this movie because he's the best part of these Ant-Man movies, is having Michael Pena and they're doing a recap of all these great stories.
Well, like the first scene and the end scene, like both the beginning and the end are very similar scenes, and they have some humor in them.
What'd you think of the jokes?
There's not enough humor at all. And that's why I always liked about Ant-Man, because it's really funny.
Well, what about the jokes that were in it? Did you find them funny?
Oh, the worst part was the part about I don't want to get into it because it's a bit of a spoiler, but
Okay, we'll say that for spoiler section.
yeah, there was a really bad part that uses the same word like 3 or 4 times in a row, and I was like, really? This is fine to be a big joke, but you've done it really poorly with your really bad dialogue.
I find
you know what I'm talking about.
I find the humor in these movies, aside from Michael Pena, is quite poor. I mean, the Ant-Man and the Wasp was quite disappointing for me. The parts with Michael Pena were hilarious, but every other joke that someone else is telling, I'm sitting there, are these jokes for 4-year-olds or something? I don't...
The language is for 4-year-olds, and that's probably, like I was saying, these people that are in this movie are very smart people.
Mm-hmm.
Other than the main character, who's not as smart.
He is an electrical engineer.
He's not as, like...
Scott Lang.
Yeah, but he's more of a goof. But these people wouldn't be talking this way. They talk like idiots. I just think the dialogue is just so poor. It just... I don't know who was writing it. It just really let it down. It dragged the whole movie down. It had beautiful, beautiful scenes in it.
Oh, yeah.
And beautiful things in it like that. But... just the way they were speaking. I
said in my spoiler-free reaction that this was more sensation and spectacle over substance, over the story. It's visually, it looks amazing. It doesn't need to be a 3D movie. I don't need to see this in 3D. It's not Avatar where you got stuff in the background and the foreground. Yeah. And it's every scene.
I don't think they used the 3D very well.
No.
It was beautiful when they go to that world. It was really cool to see it, but I didn't really get a lot of the 3D.
I agree. The 3D is poor, so if you can go to a non-3D version, just go to a regular 2D version and save yourself a few bucks, do it, because you ain't missing anything here.
It was $19.
Yeah, and that's why they have all these 3D showings, and then the 2D screenings are packed, but no one wants to go to the 3D screenings because they don't want 3D and they don't want to pay extra for it.
Like, I haven't gone to a movie in a little while because I just haven't had a chance. So that, well, gee, I definitely won't be going if the movie's going to be $19 every time. I mean, I haven't gone in a month, so...
No, that's just because it's the 3D.
It was super expensive, and it wasn't IMAX that I saw. Yours must have been even more.
Yeah, but I think I got it as a free ticket.
Oh, yeah, you can get free tickets.
Well, anyway, we have Cineplex here in Canada, so they have various programs, and you can get free tickets through it. I mean, I get a free ticket once a month through their Cine Club, which is okay, I guess. We don't have, like, the equivalent of AMC A-List, which is way better. You pay a big fee a month. You pay, like, $25-$30, and then you get to go to unlimited movies for the month.
You were looking at St. John's #1 movie game player.
Well, they don't have that anymore. When they used to have
the game, it was you. You were always up there. Always up there. You were the #1.
Well, we're going to the movies all the time. So before we finish our non-spoiler section, what would you give this? Would you give this best movie ever, worst movie ever? I'm going to give it, just because it did have some good stuff in it, and I enjoyed it more than I didn't enjoy, even though I was disappointed. I'm going to give it a best movie ever. But that's like barely over. That's almost like a 51%.
No, it's just so disappointing.
It is disappointing.
It was disappointing. The visuals were great. And the great actors in it.
Oh, definitely.
But the things they had them say and stuff were stupid. And there's one big kind of hole in the whole story, if you ask me. But,
nope. We'll talk about more in spoilers.
Right.
What rating would you give this before we go to that?
I guess I'll give it like an 83.
83.
Yeah, I had fun, but I just think the potential was there for something much greater, and it just let you down.
I completely agree. Yeah. Let us know what you guys think about Ant-Man the Wasp Quantumania if you go see it down in the comments below. Now here we go. We're gonna go into spoilers for Ant-Man the Wasp Quantumania. I'm gonna put the spoiler notice up for the whole time. And if it's in the chapters, you can jump to the next chapter if you want to hear it. Or if you stay watching when the spoiler thing goes down, it will be in non-spoilers. I think I screwed that up on the last episode. But I'll get it right this time.
Spoilers in the wrong place. Anyway, so spoilers. Okay, spoilers. What was
there much to spoil in this?
2 big problems. Well, the dialogue was a big problem. The use of Bill Murray was ridiculous.
Drink the ooze was a bad line.
Well, I didn't
drink the ooze. I'm like, really? They made her say that?
Yeah. There was bad dialogue.
Bill
I liked
Murray's-
the little ooze creature. He was funny. He was one of the only funny things in it.
Was that Michael Cera?
I don't know who was the little creature.
He sounded familiar.
But he was funny, and he kept on asking how many holes everyone had because he didn't have any holes. And if you drank his goo, then it was like their universal translator, like they have in Star Trek or whatever. Then you could understand what everyone was saying.
Gross.
And no,
I think that was
fun.
And
I thought that
it's
was
him
fun.
though.
I thought that was a fun part of it. And then at the end, he got shot up and he got holes and he was all excited.
That was a good joke.
That was the only good joke, I think, in the body of the movie. It was funny at the very beginning when he's walking down the street. It was funny at the end when he's walking down the street again. And the funny cake that he got was funny.
Oh yeah,
the
the ant
smushed
cake.
up ants. That was funny. But other than that, there wasn't really anything else funny. And the fact that that guy's head was gigantic.
Mm-hmm.
But once you see it one time, we've already seen it. We've already done that.
Okay, MODOK
MODOK
was my favorite of this movie. They brought back
It was ridiculous.
Corey Stahl,
Yeah.
who was Yellow Jacket in
That
the
was
first
great.
Ant-Man movie,
I
and
think
they
that
brought
was
him back as a giant head of MODOK.
But they
That was
didn't
great.
do enough with him. They
No,
kept
they
on
didn't.
having the same jokes over and over. He looked ridiculous with his tiny little arms and legs and his giant head and that crystal. They didn't talk about it on his head. I thought maybe someone was going to pry the crystal off. He was like Vision. He looked like a very disturbing looking Vision.
Some of the comic book stories, he shoots a laser or something out of his forehead.
They didn't use it.
I think this was just jewelry.
They didn't use it.
He got
I
some
think
quantum realm jewelry and
we
put it on
needed
his forehead.
a lot more with that. And the joke they tried to tell when MODOK was
At the end?
injured,
Okay,
that he was
I like
a
that.
dick, and he was a
Like-
dick, and he was a dick, and then again, you're a dick. So they ruined the joke.
Yeah, Cassie's like, okay, just
The
stop
dialogues.
being a dick. And he's like, it's too late. She goes, it's never too late to stop being a dick.
But they said
That could have
it
been the
4
tagline for the movie. I
times.
enjoyed that.
They ruined that last line though, because the dialogue was so poor between them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I thought it was, and Bill Murray's talents were completely wasted in the movie.
Yeah, you could have eliminated that character. There's
He
no reason for him to
was
be there.
Being great as Bill Murray and playing a
Mhm.
smartass, but he didn't come back in the movie. You don't like it. Just they didn't use his character properly, and the whole big plot hole in the whole thing is Michelle Pfeiffer not speaking to them about her whole experience of being in that land and why she wouldn't say anything.
And they didn't answer the weird stuff that happened at the end of the last movie. Remember at the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp? They're fighting Ghost, and then they get her out of the quantum realm. They got her out, and then she goes over to Ghost. She's like, I can feel your pain. And then like touches her and heals her. I'm like, what was that crap?
I don't know. It was just stupid why she wouldn't speak to anybody about her time there. That was just ridiculous. So that, and she didn't also say, like, turn that off, like, right away. Instead, she just stood there and watched them send a beacon to this realm where it was awful, I guess.
Well, she did tell them to turn it off, and they didn't listen.
She didn't try very hard. Anyway, I just thought it was, take that movie, make a few little, get a comedian in to help write it, make a few little twists, and it would have been a great movie. Right? It's just disappointing. Anyone could have seen that watched it. They would also have thought the same thing. Get Bill Murray in there again. Have him at the end when they're taking over. What, he could have been doing something hilarious, right? No, he wasn't there. I mean, and he was just in a bar. Like, it was trying to kind of a knockoff of Star Wars, the bar scene.
So I looked up the writer for this, a guy named Jeff Loveness. I don't want to pick on this guy.
This part about the goo that you had to drink, and there was fun concepts in it, but he needed a comedian to help him. He's only, you know. This is this guy's first movie screenplay. Well, he's writing for a television show. I think maybe it was good, but it needed. They're spending millions of dollars on this. They could give him some help to write some jokes. Would you like to know who I blame for all 3 of the Ant-Man movies being disappointing for me? I don't know. Who is it? I blame the director, Peyton Reed. He's been the director for all of them?
Yeah, well, the first one seems to be the best one, but he's the director on it, but he came in at the end. So all the pre-production stuff was done, and then he came in to direct it and then do the editing.
Right.
It was supposed to be done by Edgar Wright. He was doing all the work there.
Oh.
And then he left because of creative differences, because he wanted to do something that, you know, Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios says, no, you can't. That will contradict what's happening in other parts of the MCU. So they had to go their separate ways. So they bring in Peyton Reed, like when the process is ongoing.
Right.
So the pre-production was done. So he goes into production and then does the post-production. And then he did 2 and 3, but that's why 1 is probably the best, because he didn't do most of it.
Well, one thing that really disappointed me and was such a missed opportunity as well was that his name is William Jackson. He's really funny normally, and his character was terrible. Yeah. And the way that they had him speaking was awful. And he's really funny, and he can do a great job.
He had a couple of funny jokes, but they really toned it down. He was with the mind control. He's like, please stop thinking that.
No, but
please stop thinking that.
All the dialogue with him was terrible, and they could have made it really funny, and it just wasn't. It just fell through.
Yeah.
I found that really let down the movie, because it would like slow right down, you know, because the dialogue was so bad.
Do you think maybe these 3 Ant-Man movies are made for a much younger crowd, and that's why we're so tough on them? Maybe this is for like kids 10 and under.
No. It's just a missed opportunity.
They're so toned down.
No.
They're not scary.
Again, these Marvel movies, they just need someone to look at them objectively and say, this is missing, and not be afraid to hurt anyone's feelings. Say, this needs fixing before it goes out. Like, they really need someone overseeing them with a good eye, and they seem to not have that.
Well, they used to, because Kevin Feige was overseeing everything, but now because he was ordered to expand production of stuff, and they're doing so much now, it means that it's all beyond him, right? So he's really good at what he does. He's the executive producer on all of them, but there's only so many hours in the day, right?
Right.
So he is stretched way too thin. And because they're pumping out all this content, they're pumping out 3 movies a year plus Disney Plus shows. That's why he can't work on everything, and they need to bring in more people to go over scripts than that. Plus, they're losing writers and directors, going to DC, going to other places. It was
fun, but it just was missing that spark. And poor Bill Murray was misused.
Yeah, I don't feel bad for him. I'm sure he got paid.
I know, but he's so talented and funny, and he was a real smartass. But his character, like, nothing happened there.
You know why he would do a role like that? Same as why any of these other great actors do it. It's because then they're the cool, he's the cool grandpa now.
I guess so.
So, Cate Blanchett was one of the greatest actresses in the world. She was in Thor Ragnarok, right?
She was, I don't remember.
She was Hela.
Okay.
And she was having a great time. And she did it because then she becomes the cool mom. Then suddenly her kids are like, wow, that's amazing, Mom.
Listen, nobody... Cruel and Mom don't go in the same sentence.
You know,
maybe cool grandma, but not mom.
If you got kids or grandkids or nieces, nephews, and you want to impress them, if you're suddenly an actor or actress, and then suddenly you're one in a modern franchise that they love, and suddenly you appear in it, they'll have a lot more respect for you.
I don't think that's what it's about. I think it's about the money there. Anyway,
oh yeah, and there's money.
Maybe Bill Murray is buddies with some people that were making this film, but I mean, he was still great in it. But it was like such a misuse.
This is just another. It shows what they've been doing with a lot of Phase 4. There's a lot of missed opportunities where these could have been way better. It's like they were only like 70% there.
I know. Or
they just need more work.
Just need a little bit more, and only a comedian just to come in, even if. There is some jokes. Plot twist or whatever. We needed the jokes because they can deliver it. Yeah. And like also like the whole thing with the ants, they didn't treat that properly either.
Paul Rudd is really funny.
He is, and Michael Douglas, like the way that they had his character, he seemed like real dumb. The way they had him speaking, he seemed like a doofus.
Yeah, he was kind of like the lost old man in this movie, just kind of wandering around. He's like, "Where am I?" You know.
And, you know, he's like one of the most brilliant scientists in this
Yeah,
world.
Hank Pym.
So, yeah, it was pretty stupid. Anyway, fun but dumb. That's what I'll call it.
I gave it a best movie ever. I stick by that.
It was fun.
Even the worst Marvel movies are still pretty good. And they're still more watchable than other ones.
Not the Eternals.
I mean, no, the Eternals is great. That is not lower tier MCU for me at all.
Low down
okay?
there.
I'm not going to pick on any right now, but even the worst MCU movie is still better than Morbius.
Oh, well, Morbius was another thing. When we were talking earlier,
it's still better than, even the worst MCU movie is still better than all those awards movies we've seen recently.
Thinking of Lawrence Fishburne as Morbius, I don't think of, isn't it, Morbius is his name.
Morpheus.
Oh, sorry. Well,
Morbius is the vampire.
Was terrible, yes. We both agree on that.
Okay. Yeah, so even the worst MCU movie is better than that. People are still upset at Sony. Why would you release that garbage? And meanwhile, at the same time, those same people that are upset at Sony for releasing that garbage are also upset at Warner Brothers for canceling the Batgirl movie that's said to be...
It must have been going to be bad.
They said it was unreleasable.
It must have been really bad.
Peter Safran and James Gunn are the new heads of DC Studios at Warner Bros. Peter Safran came out and said that movie was unreleasable.
It must have been bad because that Morbius...
Yeah.
Am I saying it right? Yes.
Morbius.
I'm also thinking about the Mobius loop was in Star Trek.
Morbius, the living vampire, is the Spider-Man villain. Anyway, we got off track there.
Okay.
Ant-Man the Wasp Quantumania. I enjoyed it. I know it sounds like we're giving it a kicking.
It's kind of an up and a down.
But
I just think it could have been great, and they screwed up.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. I'm still going to get my physical media copy on 4K when it comes out and watch it again and again. What do you guys think of Ant-Man the Wasp Quantumania? We're out of spoilers now. Leave us a comment down below and let us know your thoughts, or if you're not interested and maybe you didn't like the other ones, or maybe you did. Let us know what you think. We'll read them out in the next episode. What do we got to review next? Oh, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Oh my god, I can't believe he went to see that.
I
can't believe you actually spent money and took time to go in your vehicle and drive to the movie theater and sit for this.
And it was like 80% sold out. It was.
I couldn't believe it was a real movie. I really thought it was a joke. When you first showed me the trailer, I thought it was a joke trailer some kids put together. Because it looked so damn bad. And was it bad? Was it really bad?
The concept that they came up with of what they've done is Winnie the Pooh is now in public domain. So they've said, okay, what the filmmakers did was they said, okay, we're going to take these these beloved childhood characters, and we're going to do a completely different spin on them, and it's going to be a horror movie. So Winnie the Pooh and Piglet, those are the only two you see in it.
And they don't look like Winnie the Pooh or Piglet.
No, they're not supposed to.
They look terrible.
And they're like, well, what if they went bad? Okay, so they're evil now. And you make a horror movie. It's a slasher horror movie.
Did they drink something wrong in the forest that made them nuts?
I'm not gonna spoil it. You gotta go see it. It's explained in the.
I wanna go see it.
It's explained in the first 5 minutes because there's an animated short at the beginning. That's how the movie starts with the animation.
Are they like replaced by their evil selves from another dimension,
nope.
like the Terrans in Star Trek?
Nope, I'm not gonna tell you. But no, that's not it. So
I'll keep on guessing.
They come out with this concept of let's make a slasher horror movie using these beloved characters. All right, and they go bad, and I respect what they tried to do, but this didn't turn out well. This was quite bad.
Yeah.
And it's not because it's low budget, because we just mentioned earlier, the first John Wick was made for barely anything. I think it was made for like roughly 20 million. I think it was made for roughly 20 million.
Still seems like a lot of money to me.
Don't quote me on that. Fact check me and let me know if I'm wrong. But it was made for very little. I mean, the first Evil Dead was made for nothing.
Did they get stung by some weird kind of rare bee?
No. Okay. Keep guessing. The problem with this movie is poor execution. The story is bad. The dialogue is bad. The cinematography isn't very good.
Oh, really?
The lighting is quite poor.
I noticed that in the trailer. The lighting looked really bad. I was trying to
There's a
figure out what
lot
it
of
was.
shaky cam that doesn't look good. And man, I know they made it on the cheap, but this was very poorly written. And it's a lot of the things they were written just so that they could get a slasher moment out of it.
Yeah.
Because things didn't make much sense.
Seems very deranged.
And apparently I'm not the only one who saw it. I left a reaction video and I said, I don't think people should go see this.
Was it like in the Smurfs when that little fly bit everyone and they went ganap, ganap? Was
Nope.
it like that?
Nope. Okay, this movie currently has a critic rating of 7%, so only 7% of critics said something nice about it. And that doesn't mean they liked it, they said nice things.
That's the worst one I've seen.
And it has an audience score of 59%, so audiences are being nicer about it, which they usually are. But yeah, this was not that good. In fact, in my screening, which was 80% sold out, at a couple points in the movie, people were laughing at how bad it was.
Right, at how bad it was.
Ooh.
So maybe that's where they get the 59%. Because at least it made them laugh, and Ant-Man didn't.
Man.
No one was laughing out loud in the theater, even though there was only like 8 people in there.
It was rough. So,
no one was laughing.
And I posted my review and my video, but I give this a worst movie ever.
Okay.
In fact, I said on my video, and I'm going to say it again, don't waste your time or your money with this.
Seemed a bit of sacrilege.
If you get a
Winnie the
chance to
Pooh,
see
I
this
don't
for
know.
on one of your streaming services, when it comes out on streaming, if it does, don't watch it.
I mean, Winnie the Pooh is so precious, and sweet and everything. It just seemed to me like I can't believe they went there. Anyway.
Hey, I respect what they tried to do, but poor idea. Maybe someone will come along and do a better horror version of Winnie the Pooh.
I could see it being in a movie where they rob a bank and they're all wearing Winnie the Pooh and Piglet masks. They all have those scary masks they like to wear now in movies when they rob banks and all that. That would be interesting. Have Kanga and Roo.
Did anyone out there get to go see Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey? If you did, people with time on their hands like me, or got duped by the trailers like me. If you did see this, let me know what you think down in the comments below, or if you just have any thoughts in general on Winnie the Pooh, or if you have thoughts on the trailer.
Who's your favorite character?
From Winnie the Pooh?
Yeah.
I don't know, I've never been asked that question before.
I have sort of 2, really.
I'll say Tigger.
Yeah, Tigger. I like Tigger, but Eeyore, of course, is my
Eeyore's a lot of people's favorite.
Eeyore.
No one likes Rabbit.
Rabbit's just such a know-it-all.
And no one really likes Owl.
I like Owl.
Some people like Kangaroo.
He doesn't do very much.
Yeah. Do people even know what we're talking about? Do they know Winnie the Pooh now?
I really like them all, but Rabbit's a bit of a busybody.
Do kids nowadays, small kids nowadays know Winnie the Pooh? Do they watch it?
Everybody knows Winnie the Pooh. Yeah.
Okay.
There's the books. You can read the books to the people. Anyway.
Okay, let's move on. We've been going for a while, so we'll probably wrap it up. So what we're going to do is we're going to wrap it up with some comments that we got.
Okay.
So I posted a spoiler-free review of Star Trek Beyond, which I got right here.
Oh.
My I'll put it over here.
Right.
My 4K copy of Star Trek Beyond, and so we watched it, and I posted a video on it.
Okay.
And then I asked if people were fans of this, and View Thunder responded on Twitter. He said, "Yes!" Exclamation mark. Simple to the point. Thanks for the. Sorry, I'm having problems with my computer here. Thanks for the comment, and I responded saying, "Are you hoping to see more Star Trek movies with the J.J. Abrams crew? That's Chris Pine, Zachary Quinto, Carl Urban. Think Paramount will make more soon?" And View Thunder replied, "Absolutely. Star Trek Beyond is my favorite of the 3. Would love to see at least one more with that cast." So that's great. I'm glad that you love that movie. It didn't work as well for me. I'd like to know why it's your favorite. Maybe it's Anton Yelchin or something. I actually responded to him again and asked him, what do you think they'll do? Will they recast Chekhov?
Right.
I think they should, because you need
away.
Chekhov.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, Anton Yelchin passed away at what was he, 28, 29?
Very young.
Damn.
Bizarre accident.
Yeah, feel bad for him and his family there.
Yeah.
But anyway, thanks View Thunder for your comments. And we got some YouTube comments as well.
Oh.
Calvin Ospina commented on our trailer review for the Super Mario Brothers trailer.
Yes.
Remember the plumbing ad? That was hilarious.
Yes.
And I put at the I leave a comment on the bottom, and I said, "What are your thoughts on Super Mario Brothers movie? Like on the trailer, or if it coming out, or when it's out in April?" And Calvin Ospina commented, "How are you going to know if it's a good story or not without seeing it?" Well, Calvin Ospina, thank you for your comment and for watching one of our videos there. I just put up that comment and say, if you want to comment on the trailer right now, and also April 7th isn't that far around the corner. So then if people watch that video afterwards, I'll just leave it up there for years. You might be watching, maybe it's in the future. Maybe you're watching this in like 2030. No one watches us now. Why would they watch that?
In the future.
If you're one of the 5 people who watch this show, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're trying to get a bigger audience. So anyway, I just put that up there, and then people can respond in the future what they think of that movie.
Well, I hope it has a good story, because...
And we got one final comment from Michael Uriosturgai. I'm probably mispronouncing your last name there. I apologize for that, Michael. And this was in response to our Lord of the Rings Return of the King review.
Okay.
And it says, you need to work on not talking over each other. And I replied to him, I said, I replied to him with a great reply. I said, you're absolutely right, sir. Christine interrupts me way too much. Lol.
Well, this show is not scripted. So whatever we talk about, we're not cued. We don't have a director.
You are absolutely right, though, Michael. We gotta try not to talk at the same time, because then it's hard to hear anyone. We're working at it. We're new at this.
We're having a discussion in a lot of it, too, though.
True. But we also need to make sure we're not talking at the same time, so it's easier for people to understand. For, like I said, the 5 people that are watching the show, thank you very much. So, let's get into the how people can contact us.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And what we use, make sure to include, please, what the email will be used for and what the Twitter, what we do with the Twitter account.
I don't know. You do it. I don't do it. I don't know. Email us at CanadaMovieTVHosers@gmail.com. Or you can follow us on Twitter at Canada Hosers. You can follow Gregory on Twitter at St. John's Critic. And if you're talking about us on Twitter and you want us to notice, use the hashtag Canada Hosers. So I don't know what your questions were about.
For the email, if you want to suggest a topic, a news article, or a piece of media you think we should check out, use the email for that. Please, you can shoot us an email, and if it's something we can get access to, like it's a movie that we have on a streaming service, we'll watch it. If it's something that we don't have the streaming service for, and I'm not going to buy it, I mean, we'll open to suggestions. And as for the Twitter account, the show Twitter account, that's where I post whenever a new episode goes live or a new reaction video. So that's the best way to get notified when new videos go up.
Right.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to sign off now. Looks like Fluffy Kitty here didn't bother to wake up.
No.
She wore herself out before the show there.
Like and subscribe down below.
Thank you very much. Take care, everyone.